Brittany
That's
Dixon.
me. There could be some confusion because I was Miss Earth Air in 2017, but lovely to see everyone tonight. And I'm excited to chat with everyone.
All right. Thank you, Britt. And finally, the reigning Miss Earth Australia 2019. Welcome back, Susanna Downs.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know Monique is watching us. So hi, friend. Miss Earth Australia 2018 is tuning into the live. So I just want to, thank you to everyone that is watching us tonight.
All right. Thank you, girls, for making this possible. First of all, I would like to thank Mom Julieta De Leon for making this interview possible. And even though we're granting your wish halfway because three of them are with us right now, we would also love to have both Pauline and Pauline
and
Sheridan to be able to make it, but unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, they couldn't make it tonight. So, I pray for their safety as they go through their respective evenings tonight. So, hi girls, how have you been?
Very good.
Yeah, great. Keeping busy as ever, even though there's a pandemic going on.
Me too.
How do you guys feel that you're almost done with your respective reigns as Miss Earth Australia queens?
It's weird, I think, because we worked so hard to get to this point, and then for it to already be done, it's like, how did I go so fast? I know personally for Brittany and I, we've both worked for a very long time as Miss Earth Australia queens, because we've respectively done different years of the pageant not together, but you know what I mean?
Once together.
Yeah. So it's like, wow, it's actually like coming to an end, and it feels somewhat strange, but kind of gratifying at the same time.
But either way, the work's never done. So I'm sure we're all going to continue with our environmental advocacies and continue kind of living out Miss Earth, whether or not we are still involved with the organisation, but still like to be.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you are having a lot of, you're learning so much. You had a good time during your respective reigns. I wonder, at this time of lockdown, what have you been guys up to?
I'm still working full time. So I work for National Parks and Wildlife Service at the moment, and we're working remotely from home. In my free time, I've also been doing some cross stitching. That's one of the skills I've been honing in on. That's Mr. Jeremy Fisher.
I love it. We all like.
How long have you been doing it, Britt?
That probably took me maybe about 10 hours, but I'm not very good at it.
Well, that's very fast, right?
Is this something that you have been doing for a long time?
No, I just started basically during the coronavirus lockdown, but it's fun, and I'm starting a big giant one, like bigger than my screen. So.
Awesome.
So I assume you learned it from YouTube. I mean, you're learning the whole thing from YouTube.
I think I did it maybe a little bit when I was in high school. I think I did maybe 5 minutes of it, and I just kind of remembered. So, yeah.
Cool.
So how has it been doing it, sewing it?
Oh, yeah, it's fun. It's definitely relaxing. It's something easy I can do when I'm sitting on the couch, got nothing else to do. Love to know what Susanna and Karen have been up to.
Oh,
question.
yeah.
So personally, I finished uni last year, and this year I was meant to start a graduate job for civil engineering. Unfortunately, in the last few weeks, my workplace has been very kind, and they put me on a diploma course to do construction management. So I've just been working away on that, and yeah, it's been good just to learn something new. And I suppose during the lockdown, it was actually just a really good chance to catch up with a lot of my high school friends and primary school friends, just over like Zoom and Facebook. So it's just, yeah, been really awesome just to hear how they've been and how they're keeping busy as well.
I was about to ask you, uniting with your catching up with your Facebook friends, social distancing, and then when you said, okay, on Facebook, okay. Yeah, so yeah, this lockdown has been really giving us so many things. I mean, things that we haven't done before now, but now we have a lot of time to do things that we have been doing during those normal times. Now we get to do it because of everything that's going on. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Take up a new skill like Brit. Now we're connecting with your old friends. Karen, what about Susanna here?
Well, I've been, I also essentially work full time. I have two jobs that I've been consistent with during this lockdown. I work at a electronics home goods store, as well as working for my personal trainer for the last 5 years as her account manager. So we've been, adapting fitness and working out and nutrition to adapt in the home and work well for people that like have to work out at home. I've also kind of been doing the same thing that Brittany's been doing. I've retaught myself how to crochet. I have a friend who's due to have a baby in September, and so I crocheted her baby some little like baby booties. I haven't finished them yet, because they're like, if she sees this, it won't be a surprise anymore, but they're styled like a tap shoe because she's a tap dancer. And so I wanted her daughter to have her first pair of tap shoes like right out of the womb. So I just need to attach the taps to the booty itself, and then they'll be done. Yeah.
Actually, Britt and Susanna, if you consider doing it for a longer period of time, you might as well make a living out of it. Because I have an aunt who also does the same thing. She's based in the US. She does a lot of those things, crochet and what do you call yours? A knit knitting. Is that how you cross stitching? And then she makes a lot. She makes it for her for her granddaughters, and then since everyone's liking it, so she has decided to sell it online and for those people who are interested to buy from her. So probably, who knows, convert your skill into something
maybe
something profitable. So you guys are so well spoken and well accomplished even before you became Miss Earth Australia Queen. So now I'm wondering, what are your fondest memories of your reign?
So for me, yeah, I've really enjoyed connecting with the community, and I remember one of the first events we did leading into Miss Earth this year was a beach cleanup. I know Susanna was there. And there was this little boy that was watching us for about 10 minutes, and then he kind of cottoned on to what we were doing. And then he started running around picking up rubbish and bringing it over to us so we could throw it away. And it was just really sweet to see him kind of follow our lead. And Karen was there too, right? Yeah. She wasn't there at that moment.
Yeah, I was.
The Bondi one.
Yeah. So that was really enjoyable, and I just liked seeing us have an impact on some people that weren't even involved that day.
Have you guys been doing those beach cleanups on a regular basis, like on a monthly basis?
Not as of recent, but when we've had some food drives recently, and they're in public. Well, the last one was in a public park, and while we had some downtime, while everyone was like settling with all of their food, we decided to clean it up because there was litter on the ground, and we weren't really doing anything, so we thought, let's clean up while we're here. Set an example for those who are watching us.
All right. So for Brit, it's about the beach cleanups. What about for Karen?
I think my fondest memory would also be the opportunities that we've had to, go out into the community, but just also the fact that I was lucky enough to just meet these girls and all the other candidates from Miss Earth Australia 2019, and just to keep up with them and see what they're getting up to and how they're still advocating for the environment, and just seeing new ideas and how in different parts of Australia people are getting involved in their own way. Yeah.
Susanna.
I mean, this is going to be an obvious answer, but my fondest memory obviously has to be getting to go to the Philippines and represent our country. I've met some girls that I am friends with for the rest of my life, and as soon as travel bans lifted, we're all planning to go somewhere all together so we can be reunited. Facebook Messenger voice memos aren't holding up as much, but they're doing okay. But I've also just really loved being able to have that voice and be able to, provide people with the information on how to better take care of our planet here in Australia. I've connected with the people of keeping Australia clean, and some local communities that are creating reusable bags, and also beach cleanups as well, just getting in touch with those organizations like Sea Shepherds, and I think it's Three for the Sea, just lots of different organizations here in Australia that are making that change to help protect our planet and just be that advocate now and till the end of time.
I'm curious to ask, wait, Susanna, is international travel already allowed in Australia?
No.
Oh, not yet.
I mean, there are some people that have been, I know of a friend that has traveled to South Korea in the last couple of days, but I think it's purely for work purposes. No one can travel for leisure at the moment. So yeah, it's all work related travel.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I noticed that actually not just you guys, but I noticed that whenever I ask candidates or or girls who are Miss Earth title holders, they are really, they are not really afraid about doing all these dirty work.
I love getting my hands dirty. My favorite part of it. Yeah.
Yeah, getting your hands dirty, doing a lot of social and charity work. So do you think it's really, a requirement for those girls who are really interested to join Miss Earth Australia?
100%.
It's not a superficial pageant. It's something you have to be passionate about and actually really care about what you're doing. So
exactly. And if you're not willing to get your hands dirty, then I'm not going to look for another pageant, because this one, if you're going to represent your country, you're planting trees every week. And if you're oh, I don't want to touch the dirt, no, this isn't for you, because we are physically making that change. We're not just standing there taking a photo. We're actually doing the hard yards and making that change ourselves.
I remember we went to a tree planting and one of the girls was shrieking because she had to walk through a spider's web. It was
oh yeah.
Oh.
Sad to see you
no.
here, but what happens when you're out in nature,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apart from your cleanup drives and your memories during the whole year, I'm curious to ask as well, what are your fondest memories of Madame Julieta and Miss Maria James?
I think they're just both really supportive of us as queens. Even if we hadn't been crown title holders yet, they were always really supportive and making sure that we were learning as much as we could. Tita Juliet is a master at hair and makeup, so she always knows how to make us all look beautiful, and she just wants the best out of every single candidate, not just the favorites or the people they already know. She genuinely cares about everyone that's competing, and you can definitely see it with how involved Tita Juliet is. She's at every single event. And then Tita Maria James is, fun, like making, what's the word that they use? But like runway walk class, really fun. And she comes at it from a real perspective. Like, this is what really happens. This is how you should really do it. Like, don't, sugarcoat it. Like, this is real. And she'll tell you this like
She's got a
massive
lot of
story.
sass.
She's got a lot of sass and like tells you these massive stories about her experiences and how that helps us. And it's really beneficial to hear from her.
And
What
Tita
about
Juliet
Kat?
And I
is
think,
the ray of sunshine.
my favorite
Yeah.
memory would be just seeing them at every event and getting involved as well, and seeing their passion for getting involved with the community and spreading the advocacy of Miss Earth Australia. So yeah.
What about Brit?
These guys have said it all, basically. Juliet is just, whenever I'm in the room with her, I'm laughing, and she's done incredible makeup and hair on me before, and I love working with her. And Maria was actually the one that got me into pageants in the first place. I had never really considered doing them, but she picked me up one day and said, it would be good for a pageant, and I took it on board and joined Miss Earth.
Here we are.
Is she like a nurturing mom to all of you? Because it feels like, based
They
from
both
everything that you
are.
just said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they both are. Which is
So,
really nice.
is it a bonus that this organization, Miss Earth Australia organization, is being run by women, so that it makes you a bit more comfortable that you guys are well protected in your journey as beauty queens?
I mean, I think as long as you have national directors that genuinely care about you, doesn't matter whether they're male or female. I think, yeah, we're lucky that we have two mothers that are running our organization, and they put that mothering into their queens as well as, their everyday life as parents. But yeah, I don't think it's a gender thing, because I know that my international sisters, they have, like, some of them have male national directors, and they treat them really well and really take care of them and keep them in the loop all the time. And it's the same with us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because it doesn't matter actually, as long as you guys are really well taken care of in everything that you do. Make sure that you're really being empowered with everything that you're doing through your public appearances, through your respective causes, or any other endeavors that you're in your they make sure that they have to give you 100 they have to give you their 100% support, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly,
it just
and there's
makes
so
the
many
whole
other
thing.
people behind the scenes too. Like, I want to give a shout out to Mark, who's supported us all through this as well.
Yeah.
Who is
Great for the
Mark?
operations. Who is Mark? He is like the operations
that-
director.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's definitely been there to support a lot of us and help us know what's going on when sometimes organization can be a bit scattered, but he helps get us all on track and support us all as well.
Yeah, it's nice to know that the people even behind the scenes are really supportive of you guys. So it makes the whole experience worth cherishing, worth looking back when worth looking back to it when everything's gonna be over. So I really want to ask more about how your pageant journey began. So did everything how did you all prep up for Miss Earth Australia? Because I heard it's only a 3-day pageant, right?
Yes, that's true.
So do you think that whenever you compete in a pageant like Miss Earth Australia, do you really have to be, to be already well prepared in terms of wardrobe, in terms of your pasarela skills or your runway skills, or even how you do your interviews? Or
Yes.
is it really feels like applying for a corporate job to look for the best spokesperson for
I
the organization?
I definitely think that you like really need to work hard on the whole, like on everything. For me, it was a year of preparation. I was taking care of my body in the gym and eating well, and also keeping myself researched the entire time. And I actually would bring my heels to the gym and practice my pasarela or runway upstairs at the gym and have people stare at me, but I didn't really care because I had a passion and a want to be Miss Earth Australia, and I would say it paid off because here we are. But it's definitely not like you're applying for a corporate job by all means, because you have to be passionate about being that representative and being that spokesperson for the environment for Australia. So it definitely takes a lot of passion and drive and dedication and commitment.
So, did everything turn out the way you wanted it to be,
Yes.
Susanna?
Yeah.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
you envisioned, everything that you envisioned from day one, all the way to this day that we've been reminiscing about it. You
Yeah, I
really,
mean, I would have loved to have done more events, in person, but you can only do so much in a pandemic.
yeah. But at least you were
Yeah.
able to compete internationally. So I think
Yeah.
that feels like the whole cherry on top of your cake.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah. What about Karim? By the way, before I proceed, so many people are asking
Yeah,
for
they're
a massive
asking.
shout out from us. Lara Jane, both Paul Stewart and Lara Jane are giving a shout out to Karim right now. They're so proud of you.
Hi.
Alex Miku
Hi,
is also
Alex.
asking us to give him a shout out. Yeah. And even Ronald Reyes is also asking, yeah, a shout out from,
Hi.
he's watching us all the way from Wisconsin right now.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for
Yeah.
tuning in. Greatly
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
So going back to Karen, yeah. Do you feel the same way like
Oh,
Susanna?
yes. I think so, but I suppose because Miss Earth was one of it's my first pageant. I did only get involved maybe a few months before that pageant happened, and I would agree with Susanna. Preparation really is everything. A lot of people, I guess, don't realize that for a pageant, there's a lot of logistics involved. So organizing your hair and makeup, getting your outfit ready, choosing your talent, writing your environmental speech. And so, yeah, I think you definitely couldn't just go in without having done some work. But I think one benefit I did have was just it was my first pageant, so I didn't have any expectations, and but I'm grateful that I could be here. So yeah.
So for a first time pageant contestant, was it super stressful? Having said all those things that you had to work
Oh,
on these and that.
I think for me it was really good because I was in my final year of uni, and it was just something that was great to take my mind off of doing like math and physics for a while. So for me it was actually just a lot of fun to do something different in my spare time.
Mm-hmm. Because I was thinking that since everything is new to you because you're a first time contestant, you must be feeling stressed out most of the time, or probably reached your breaking point at one instance when everything wasn't going your way. So there was no instances like that while prepping up.
No, thankfully not.
Yeah. So did you have a team to help prep you for the pageant, or was it just all about you?
So I suppose I did engage with a few different hair and makeup artists. I say it was great just to meet them, and they were, even though we were strangers before I met them, they were just so excited for me, seeing that it was my first pageant. And I think just telling my friends about it, they were excited too, just to hear about something I got involved in that was so different from what I usually do. So yeah, I'd say
Mhm.
they were really the team.
That's nice to hear that you have a backup for this kind of endeavor because I don't think you can do it on your own.
No.
Yeah,
For
especially if you
sure.
really wanna
Yeah.
win. Yeah, that I remember the saying "No man's an island." I think it perfectly applies here. You really cannot do it alone
Hmm.
unless you are a master of everything, where like do the multitask everything all at once.
Hmm.
Right? What
Yeah.
about Brit?
So we're talking about preparation for Miss Earth, right?
Yeah, did everything turn out the way you wanted to?
Yeah, so I feel like I've basically spent my whole life preparing because it's something I am just so passionate about, and the conservation of planet Earth and wildlife is just something that's so deep ingrained in my heart that, yeah, it's always been something that I've wanted. Unfortunately, I didn't win the title, but I'm glad that it went to Susanna. I think she was very deserving.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, there's still a chance for me yet. I'm
Yeah.
25, so
Yes, you have
got
so
3
many
more
more years
years.
in you.
But yeah, we'll see what happens, especially with this shift towards virtual times. And yeah, but I had a fantastic experience, and winning Miss Charity Australia is probably second best to me, just because
I
it's
agree.
prestigious. I am giving back to so many charities that deserve it and that can make a positive change, and that's ultimately my goal with Miss Earth. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, I'm curious to ask. Assuming I'm not putting. I don't assume don't assume about on what I'm about to ask you. But just in case you are interested to join this year, so I'm would they allow you? Would Mom Julieta or um,
They
Mom
would.
Maria James allow you to relinquish, turn over your crown, and then compete again?
They would. That's what
Uh,
I did last year.
Yeah.
mm,
Because I was Miss Earth Australia Water 2018.
water.
But then I asked, I was like, can I compete again? I want to do it one more time because at that time that was when 26 was the age limit, and I had just turned. Well, no, I was turning 26 last year. Well, I am now.
Uh,
Um, so I was like, I have got one last shot, and then they extended the age range, and I was like, okay, I don't have one last shot, but this is
Yeah.
going to be my one last shot. So they were more
oh,
than happy for me to do that.
so yeah,
Yeah.
Brittany, hearing
Mhm.
Susanna's answer, I think you could follow her footsteps on those, right?
Yeah,
You'll
let's
never.
hope so. As I said,
Are you?
I competed back in 2017 and got really close, and then competed again
Yep.
last year and got really close. So, you know, there's never, yeah, if you still got the fight in you, and just like Shane in Miss Philippines Earth this year, I know she didn't win the title, but you can just kind of keep going at it if it's something that
Exactly.
you still want.
So you're not afraid taking risks in your life.
No, no, and I don't consider anything really a failure. You learn and you grow, and just come back better the next time.
Yeah.
So does it have to be a calculated risk for you to do
It
it?
certainly does, yeah,
It does feel
because
like one, yeah.
it's a huge investment of your time, your money, and energy. It takes so much to compete in a beauty pageant, and you have to sacrifice a lot to do it as well. But when it is something that you are passionate about and you think can change other people's lives for the better as well, not only yourself, then it's something that's worth pursuing in my eyes.
Mm. So you know what I've been getting from you guys is that you guys have to be you really have to nurture or sustain that love for the environment, for Mother Earth, in order for you to join a pageant like Miss Earth.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they can go to other pageants.
exactly. You have to have that
So
true passion for what it is that you're representing because people can see right through it if it's not genuine.
so it's always that first and foremost before the glam aspect.
Hmm.
Before you think about your runway or uh, runway or your interview skills. So it has to be
Yeah.
your advocacy first and foremost.
Yes.
I'm learning from you guys. I'm learning because I always thought it's the other way around.
No,
it's always
definitely
about
not.
beauty, and then the
Ooh.
advocacy
The beauty helps,
will
but like,
come in.
yeah, this is like a foot in the door, and then
Mhm.
once you step in, then it's like, okay, listen to me speak.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'm really learning something from you guys. Uh, you're changing my, I've never thought that it's the other way around when it comes to Miss Earth pageants, because I've always thought you can be flexible, because let's face it, there are some girls who are really making a career out of joining a lot of pageants, and in
Mm-hmm.
order for them to adapt, they have to become flexible in terms of what the organizations is looking for in a winner, right?
Yeah.
Before we proceed again, there's a question here from Ronald
Oh,
Dennis
yeah.
Reyes. He asked, does Australia have any beauty pageant camps that train girls aspiring to become beauty queens?
There are a few. I'm with Queen Central, who is run by the Perez family. If you tuned into Miss World Philippines last year, the Miss Philippines Tourism, Glyza Perez,
Oh,
her brothers are my coaches. So they are the reason, like, they're the reason why I'm so like well practiced in my question and answers, and I would send them videos because they went to the Philippines at the same time that we had our national pageant, because Miss World Philippines was pretty much at the same time. So I was sending them videos of my walk and all of my outfits, like everything was being sent through Facebook, and they've been my team for the last 2 years, and I can like wholeheartedly say that I probably wouldn't have been as prepared as I was for the pageant if it hadn't been for them. Like our runway rehearsals are very similar to how Aces and Queens and Kagandahang Flores work in the Philippines. So like we're doing all the duck walk practices and lunges in and lunges in our 6-inch heels. So I was very well prepared thanks to my team.
Yeah, and our choreographer from last year also seems to have started a new camp here, Monster Minds.
Yes.
Yes, so that's a new one to look out for. Shout out to Joy.
So Australia is also teaming. Australia is also teaming with a lot of talented individuals in pageantry who could help you guys to give your best foot forward when you join pageants here. Because I've always thought Australia.
I mean, the camps aren't as big. Like they're not as big as what the Philippines has like buildings set for them, whereas ours are very like small and more personal, I guess, because they're like essentially in a sense holding your hand the entire way, but not really. Yeah, so it's more of a personal camp, I guess you could say.
Have you shown Brittany and Karine here how to do the duck walk?
I haven't, no, but that might be something when we're all reunited once together. It'll be.
I've definitely seen you doing it backstage.
Because I feel like it's the super ingredient to make one a very success for someone to really have good runway skills.
It's definitely helpful for balance in those shoes, let me tell you.
Yes. Yeah, and even the stamina.
Yeah. Because we're standing for long periods of time.
I agree. So yeah, hopefully you could show both Karine and Brittany here how it's done, especially to Brittany, who I have a feeling might join again in the near future. Yeah. I'm curious to ask. You guys, as I've said, you guys are very well accomplished even before competing for Miss Earth Australia. And now that you won, do you think your respective day jobs or your occupation have helped you somehow in winning Miss Earth Australia? Because Susanna, you're a DJ, and then Brit works in a Brit works here for a services company. So probably it's about always giving back, helping the needy. So that probably is something special to her. And also, Karine is also an engineering student. So when you relate environment to engineering, it could go hand in hand, right? So do you think it was some sort of, because especially for Korean, what does an engineering or a good looking engineer doing in a pageant like Mr. Australia? So people will be more interested to know about you, Korean. So do you think it somehow helped along the way?
I think, yeah, for sure, because in my later years of my uni program, I did some subjects involved in environmental engineering. And yeah, it's just helpful, I suppose, having some formal education regarding the technology and I suppose the sciences involved behind a lot of the issues that we see, like pollution and also how pollution happens in water. So yeah, I think it's handy just to have some background knowledge. And it definitely is awesome to hear at universities the new technologies that people are coming up with to be more mindful of the environment. An example might be they're researching how to use old materials into concrete. Concrete's a very big construction material these days, so how to make it better for the environment, so you're not just taking from the earth and then you're not just dumping waste afterwards. So yeah, I think it's definitely helped.
Yeah. What about you, Susanna?
I think for me, being, a performer, my second home is the stage. And so I find it easy to get up there and put on a show. But for everything, like for my advocacies and whatnot, I've always had a passion to educate children, specifically through music. And because it's such a universal language, you can teach children all over the world because we all understand music. And yeah, I really feel like my passion to want to change how the next generation sees the planet is something that really spurred on my want to win this title. And I get to play characters at birthday parties that are all about the environment, like Moana is all about the ocean. And I mean, I don't personally get to be Rapunzel, but she's, she loves being outside with the trees. So being around those Disney characters and emulating them for kids and be inspiring to them is, yeah, what I've loved to do. And it's definitely helped as a queen as well.
Yeah, it helps. It really helps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your love for, I mean, your love for performing on stage is translated into something beneficial for you.
Yeah,
At
it just
Miss
comes easily.
Australia. Natural, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Britt?
Yeah, so I'm a qualified animal and vet bioscientist, and I'm working in wildlife conservation, so for the National Parks and Wildlife Service here. And it's just interacting with those kinds of animals and the interactions that people have with wildlife in our state every single day. It's definitely something that contributes to, my understanding of the environment and current events that are going on in our state and in Australia all the time. So yeah, I'm in amongst it every single day, and it's something that I enjoy and I'm constantly learning. And, hopefully one day I can get out and work in the field on some projects directly with the animals that I love so much.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but for the moment, just being behind the scenes and doing the necessary licensing work and things like that is just, it's really good to get a good background of what's going on and all of the environmental laws and everything in Australia as well.
That's great to hear. It seems that as long as you can relate, what I'm getting from you is that as long as you can relate yourself, your background to an endeavor like this, Miss Earth Australia, it will somehow go seamless along the way without you noticing it. Yeah, because your love, obviously, your love for the arts, Susanna, your love for the environment, wildlife, animal breeding. Your course, your engineering course, Karine, has somehow made you stood out, espouse something that made you a unique candidate in
Mm.
Miss Earth Australia. So, do you think, would you also advise the same thing to those hopefuls who would be wanting to follow your footsteps soon?
Yeah, I definitely think
Oh
finding
yes,
something you love to be, you know, your your driving force into why you want to do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really
I
has
agree
to.
because
Yeah, Karen.
oh yes, sorry. I agree. As we were saying before, you can't just come to Miss Earth without having some passion and involvement in the environment and the work that we do. And so I think having a job or a career or having a background in education related to the environment certainly shows, and it comes to life when you're in the pageant to show your passion and that you are leading by example.
I like that. You're leading
Yeah,
by example
yeah,
through your own, through your little ways. Yeah, it's those small things that you do that makes the difference in changing people's lives.
hmm
I like that. This is what I like about this earth. You're not just, it's not all about beauty, but it's all about educating people like me about the importance of spreading environmental awareness about a lot of environmental issues. Right?
hmm
Great.
yeah,
Definitely,
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah, if you can get as many people on board, then we can truly make a really big difference. And I think pageants are a great way to do that because you're connecting with a whole new audience. So the people
very true.
that already know about the environment and are already doing things, we don't need to connect with them. We need to connect with people that, are engaged with pageants and do like the bits of glitz and glamour that draw you to watch those kinds of shows. So if you can just tell them a couple of little things to change their lives, then it'll make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So there are some questions here coming. Speaking of Miss Philippines Earth, Ronald, a viewer here, Ronald Dennis Reyes has a question again. Has any one of you watched the Miss Earth Philippines 2020 virtual pageant? What are your thoughts about virtual pageants in this time of pandemic? Who can start?
I haven't watched the whole thing in its entirety. I need to sit down for an hour and a bit just to have a chance to watch it all the way through. But I've watched highlights and bits and pieces, and I think it was really interesting. And it's unfortunate that some girls have an advantage when they can, create a better production value. But the good thing about it is that you can really connect with what each candidate has to say. So it's a good way to put that environmental advocacy first and the glitz second, which is different, but it could be the way going forward. So we'll see what happens in this space.
Yeah. I kept up to date with it. I would watch all the preliminary activities through like YouTube videos that they'd repost afterwards. And I was rooting for my girl Gianna, who came out as Miss Philippines Water. Woohoo! I actually think she's watching this because I saw her name pop up.
Hi, Gianna.
I was rooting for her the entire time because she's she has such a kind heart, and you would have seen right after she was crowned, she was out there, handing out food to people in Mandaluyong, and just being the queen that she already was. So, but I think doing a virtual pageant right now, it's difficult. Like the reasons Brittany said, like some people have access to, really great quality cameras, lighting, venues, but it's bringing hope to their audiences. Like a lot of other pageants are postponed, but what Carousel did, creating that virtual pageant, and still brings that audience back and gives them that hope and happiness, because some people are like, they don't have anything to do at home. So if they get to watch the pageant that they love, they have like something to inspire them or something to just give them a smile every day. So I think that was kind of the reasoning behind Carousel to do a virtual pageant for the Philippines national pageant.
I have a follow-up question, but I'll just wait for Karine to finish her
yeah.
answer
okay.
first. Karine.
Personally, I haven't watched the pageant yet, but I really, would be interested to see how they did it. And I think what one great thing about a virtual pageant is that it brings people together, even though you can't physically be together, and also maybe people who wouldn't be able to actually go and watch a pageant, like Brittany said, will be still able to engage from the comfort of their own homes and hear what the girls do have to say about the environment and share their message. So I think it's an awesome idea.
So do you think having said those things, do you think the new setup is applicable to Miss Earth Australia soon?
We don't know. We have no idea.
So
We're
what do you
not
think
sure
off the top
yet.
of your head? Just basically have seen a little bit glimpse highlights of those in the show. Do you think that could be feasible?
I mean, it's potentially,
For
it's possible.
Mhm.
Because like even though like it is better to have a DSLR camera, you know, you've got a 1080p camera right here. So it's full high definition. I guess it all just depends on whether people have room in their houses or they can get access to a hall, especially because not a lot of performances are happening, unfortunately for me. So it all really depends on what resources people have, and if they're a queen that's kind of prepared, if they can save money on like doing their own hair and makeup, or they already have their own like lighting or their own camera set up, you know, being resourceful during this time, because like you're not reaching out to photographers and all these people, especially if you're not working. Brittany and I have been very lucky that we've been working this entire time, so like we have a slight advantage if we were competing this year. But for the people that, you know, they haven't had work, they can't get access to a photographer, they can't get access to a hair and makeup artist to be at their house like all the time, because like the pageant will go on for 3 days. It's really all about being resourceful with the things that you do have and making it work, as Tim Gunn says.
I like what you said, making it work, as what Tim Gunn says, and being resourceful. You know, because I know that, you know, a girl has to have a better production value when she's going to compete under this kind of format. So, do you think that in order for her to avoid additional expenses or cost in her participation, if, eventually, so she really has to be not shy and reach out and use her connections and be that big face to ask people around to help her just to save money.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful if you're not shy and don't mind getting some no's along the way.
What about you, Britt? What's your opinion about it? Is it adaptable? Do you think Miss Earth Australia organization can adapt to it? Because Carousel Productions has just said it's also doing a virtual setup for the international edition, which is tentatively set on November.
Yeah, so with Miss Earth Australia, I think one of the big things would be making sure that there's candidate or contestant interest in doing it, because a lot of people might see, oh, well, the international pageant's not going to be in person, it's also going to be virtual, so what opportunities am I going to get from this? I think that's one thing that a lot of people might make them hesitant to compete. But I guess if you are connecting with that advocacy and if you are using it as a platform, then there will still be that interest. But yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. And at least once the national is complete, you'll have the support from your organisation to put together what you need to actually be competitive at an international level.
Very true.
We'll just have to see what happens, I guess. And I guess the organisation will have to put out their feelers to see how many people would want to compete virtually to go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also one thing to consider, right, Britt? The number of people who might be interested to join? Because what if, because of the pandemic, everyone is afraid to go out, do a lot of activities because of the health scare. So imagine if no one turns out, knock on wood, no one shows up on the screening dates. So yeah, that would be really devastating. But of course, I'm sure, knowing how you have made Miss Earth Australia popular, for sure there will still uh, a lot of applicants who will be very interested to line up to screen if ever Miss Earth Australia organization will already announce its forthcoming screening dates. But speaking of Miss Earth Australia, Donald Reyes is also asking here, um, has the new Miss Earth Australia been crowned already? There's no, you guys, there's no Miss
Not
Earth,
yet.
there's no new Miss Earth Australia. Usually it always happens around September.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
he's
it's
also
always around my
asking,
birthday.
oh,
We like to
advance
be
happy
last out of the gates.
birthday.
The last two pageants have always, our preliminaries have started on my birthday, and crowning was always 2 days after.
Don't you think? I have a question. Since it's always being held on a September, and then the girl has to fly out immediately around October for the international competition. Don't you think? Do you think that the time of preparation in between those time is enough for you to be equipped for a pageant like Miss Earth?
I think
No,
that's
I think
best answered by Susanna.
I think personally for me, like, I didn't have that downtime to kind of get back into my old ways. I kind of was still in like competition mode, so my driving force was still there, and I was, yeah. I think for me personally, it was good to have me go so soon. Yeah, but I think for other people, they may need that downtime, they may need that preparation time. But yeah, definitely for me, I was benefited by only having 2 weeks to prepare because I was already still like in practice mode, and my body was in a great place as well.
Yeah, so the momentum, you already have the
Yeah.
momentum
Yeah,
since you just competed and your body's
yeah,
still there, with all that training, the diet that you've been through. So you just have to fly out. Yeah, okay, I get it. So I now get it. So for one to win Miss Earth Australia, she has to train her mind that she's already ready to compete internationally.
hmm
Is that
yeah,
is am I is that am I getting the right kind of
yeah. You've already got to have that
mindset?
mindset that you already are Miss Earth Australia before you even step foot on the stage for coronation. You already have won, and it's just a matter
Yeah.
of allowing the pieces to fall.
For candidates, for aspiring candidates, they really have to think like they're already ready to compete internationally.
Yes,
Think already the Miss Earth crown instead of Miss Earth Australia.
yes,
Oh, that's a great strategy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
You need to
something I've
trust the
never.
organization and trust the team because they're the ones that are going to be supporting you along the way. So I'm sure they've already got their national costume ideas in mind and being worked on. And yeah, so got to trust who you're competing under.
yeah.
Usually. All right. So, given with everything that you said, with the international edition uh, about to proceed by going virtually. Uh, do you think this is really like I wonder who said that a while ago? It's a way of moving forward for pageants to be seen as more than just glitz and glam.
Yeah, I think if you've got that passion, you're going to do it regardless of where you are. Whether you're at home, whether you're at an international pageant. I mean, I do feel for the girls that you know, aren't going to experience that bonding session that well, obviously any of the girls that competed internationally together had, but it'll be a completely different experience to them. No one is ever going to go through the same thing that they are going to go through. So as long as they're passionate about the environment, I think that's the main thing that matters.
Hmm. Would that be your ultimate advice to the Miss
Yeah.
Earth, to the next Miss Earth Australia, or even the contestants who are gonna be willing to join this pageant at this time?
Yes.
What about you, Brit?
Yeah, I agree. I think as long as you are committed and you do have that passion, then you can connect. And competing on that international platform is, just an incredible opportunity. And if you do make that impact, I'm sure Carousel would be supportive of you coming back the next year in some capacity, maybe not competing, but at least just to be there and maybe get a couple of opportunities if you really do make that impact and put your stamp on the brand, I guess.
I'm curious to ask, having said those things, if you were to compete in Miss Earth Australia right now, given that there is a pandemic happening right now, how would you do it? How will your game plan or strategy be for
Yeah,
this?
I haven't thought about it too much yet, but I think you need to really find a way to stand out, whether it be organizing a really nice space. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. You just got to find a nice open area. You can get some fabric from Spotlight or something and cover up the walls and, be resourceful, make it work, as was said before. So, yeah, and really research and understand what is going on around the world at the moment. That way you can connect with people and have that impact, and people will listen to what you've got to say. So I think that would be really important if for anyone that is to compete in Miss Earth Australia this year.
So it's still all about work, work, work. Keep working.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Make your
Never
keep spreading your environmental advocacies. Yeah.
Sure, and find a way to stand out.
Yeah.
And related to the pandemic.
That's it.
But I'm
Get some
curious.
crazy cool PPE.
Thank you, girls, for joining this. Thank you, girls, for making this
Thank you.
possible, for making this
Yes.
interview
Thank you
possible.
for having us.
I really enjoyed so much of your time. Karine, hi again. We're gonna wrap this up very quick. Thank you so much for making this possible. I really learned so much from all your answers. It feels like you're about to. It feels like it's not over yet.
No,
If,
it's definitely
if we
not, and it never will be.
Who knows, your reign might get extended because of the pandemic. We'll see.
Who knows?
All right. Thank you,
For
girls,
bringing
so
us all
much.
together.
Thanks, Adam.
I wish I tried my best, but two of you girls
It's all
couldn't
right. Yeah,
make
you
it.
did your best.
That's okay. No worries. I hope you have a wonderful evening ahead, Karine,
You too.
Susanna,
She's
and
awesome.
Britt. And I
Thank
hope
you.
to chat with you guys here again on this platform
Yes,
very soon. Take care,
Soon.
guys. Take care, guys, so
Anytime.
much.
Bye.
Good luck on your
Bye.
future
Thank
endeavors.
you.
Bye. Virtual hugs and kisses. Bye.